Right, here we are. So we start from the second stanza, which is the description of the gas attack. So let's read it first. Gas, gas, quick boys, an ecstasy of fumbling, fit in the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green lights, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. So let's focus on what is happening. As I told you, while in the first stanza, the soldiers were retreating to the place of distant rest after an attack. They were weary, they were worn out actually, and they looked like animals, like old beggars, like hags. Now, all of a sudden, a gas attack happens and takes them completely unaware. So they try to wear their helmets, their mask helmets, as quick as possible. Let's focus on some of the words. So, quick boys. So somebody is urging the soldiers to act quickly. An ecstasy of fumbling. Ecstasy. Ecstasy refers to the heightened emotions of the soldiers. Obviously, the terror of the situation has driven them out of their minds. And ecstasy is a word that is usually associated with feelings of love and passion, but here it has got a completely different meaning, since it emphasizes feelings, extreme feelings of a completely different nature. Now, an ecstasy of fumbling. Fumbling. To fumble is a verb which means to rummage. So you usually rummage when you search for something and you can't find it. So imagine rummaging in your bag, searching for your keys, if it is dark, for instance. So they're fumbling, they are frantically searching their gas mask. Fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. So the helmets are, as I told you, the gas masks, which are described as clumsy because they are bulky and awkward. So it is difficult to wear them quickly. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling. So it seems that one of the soldiers was not able to wear his mask on time, and he was still yelling, so he was crying out and stumbling. So to stumble means to trip over something, so he actually was falling. And floundering, like a man in fire or lime. So flounder means to move clumsily with little progress, as though you were walking in mud or through water. So he was doing this. He was not able to stand still. He was floundering like a man in fire or lime, like somebody who was actually burning because of the fire, burnt by fire, or because of lime. Lime is a chemical substance, a chemical compound that can burn through the human body. So let's move down here. Okay, dim through the misty panes and thick green lights. Dim means unclear, indistinct, foggy. Through the misty panes are the dirty glasses of the goggles of the mask. and thick green light of the gas, as if it were a green sea, green because the gas is green. I saw him drowning. So as though this poor soldier were actually drowning in water. He was actually choking to death. So after this terrifying scene, we get to the third stanza, which is very short, just 2 lines, and it reads like this. You can follow in the text here, lines 15 and 16. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. So you see how the sight of his dying friend now returns in the poet's dreams, or rather in the poet's nightmares. Now that the war is over, the war has ended, the narrator keeps reliving this frightening scene in his dreams every single night. So in his dreams, before my helpless sight, helpless because he can't do anything to help him, obviously, this friend of his plunges at him. Plunge means to throw your arms, trying to reach or trying to get something, someone in this case. So he plunges at me, guttering. Guttering, to gutter, means actually to flicker, to come and go like the flame of a candle. So the soldier is actually dying, coming and going, coming to life and then going back to death, choking because of the because of the gas, and drowning in this sea of gas. So you see how all his dreams have become nightmares. And then we have the final stanza, which is the longest one, where the soldier conveys the final message of his poem. It is important to see that here the addressee of the poem changes, because now the poet is specifically addressing to somebody, to you, in fact, to the person that is reading his lines, and to a person that he later calls my friend. So what is he doing here? He's asking us to try and imagine to be him, to be the soldier who experienced such a dreadful scene. A person who has seen one of his friends die in war. So let's start reading. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear, at every jolt, the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cuds of vile incurable sores on innocent tongues. My friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, Dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. So, as you see, he starts this stanza with if, the word if. So, imagine this. If in some smothering dreams, smothering means suffocating, deprived of oxygen, again, it is a verb that you usually associate with candles. So here it means to cause difficulty in breathing. So if in such dreams you too could pace, you too could walk behind the wagon, behind the cart, where we flung him in. So to flung is the simple past form of the verb fling, and it means to throw. So this soldier who was dead was actually thrown onto the wagon, the cart, as though he were a sack. So if you had seen his white eyes writhing in his face, so writhing is another very important verb. It means to move in a twisting or contorted way, meaning that his face was actually twisted, contorted beyond recognition. And what kind of face did he have? A hanging face. Hanging means stooping, so like the face of somebody who has just been hanged, resembling the face of a devil. So, and what kind of devil? A devil sick of sin. This is obviously a paradox. Okay, how can a devil be sick of sin? Devils never are sick of sins. So in this case, the reference is obviously to the face of the dead soldier, who is so devastated, so contorted that it looks like the face of a devil. So if you could hear, now he keeps asking us to imagine, to hear the sound. So if you could hear at every jolt, so at every sudden or abrupt movement of this wagon, of this cart, you could, if you could hear the noise, the sound, sorry, of the blood coming, gargling onomatopoeic, obviously, so making gargling sounds from the froth corrupted lungs, from his lungs that have been corrupted, have been ruined by the froth. The froth is means the bubbles of the water. Obviously here he refers to the bubbles made by the gas in his lungs that have actually ruined his lungs. And so this blood is obscene as cancer. So it is disgusting, obscene as cancer. It is bitter as the cat. The cat is the food that the cows chew. Sorry. So the foods eaten by the cows before it is digested. Okay, so of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues. So he makes this very strong comparison of the devastation that is going on inside the soldier's body, that resembles vile, incurable sores. Sores are open wounded ulcers on the innocent tongues of the soldiers. Innocent because the soldiers are young boys, inexperienced still to the horrors of war. So if you could have seen, if you could have witnessed all of this, you would not tell